Hey folks, it's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today's Friday, October 20th. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the stock Village Farms, ticker symbol VFF. Specifically on the Nasdaq, there was some news today that they were granted 6 months an extension on that exchange. So the minimum bid price rule has been waived for another 6 months, which was more than likely the case. This hasn't been the first time that an LP listed on a US major exchange received an extension. And then we're going to take a look at the chart and what to expect in terms of price action and my thoughts and opinions on that in the days, weeks, months ahead. Before we get to all that and more though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, all that good stuff. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or whenever I go live. Also, in order to support the channel, you can go over to X, which is previously Twitter, and give us a follow there. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. Again, the handle for that is @GroupPow. Also, make sure to go over to the Happy 5 Years Canada video that I posted 2 days ago. If you go over to the channel, just click on videos. This video right here, if you drop a comment on there, there's currently 47 comments. And I will be doing a random comment picker later on today as a thank you to the community. Love each and every one of you supporting me along the way. And as a happy 5th anniversary to MJ Turning Legal, I'm going to be giving away an annual membership valued at $100 to the Pow Group private community. So good luck. I'll be doing a live stream later on today to announce the winner. Jumping into the MJ Biz Daily Report here, MJ Operator, Village Farms gets extension to regain Nasdaq compliance. So Village Farms International, which owns Canadian MJ producer Pure Sunfarms, was granted a 6-month extension by the Nasdaq Stock Exchange to regain compliance after its stock fell below the exchange's minimum bid price rule. Village Farms was warned last April that its shares weren't meeting the exchange listing standards, and the Nasdaq requires issuers to maintain a minimum bid price of at least $1 per share. According to a news release, Village Farms now has until April 15th, 2024 to regain compliance. And this is interesting timing, right? Because we know that there's so many catalysts on the horizon. If we just name a few, there's MJ Act review here in Canada, safer banking, rescheduling, Germany coming online, and potential for Florida on the ballot for 2024, legalization of medical in the US. So there's tons of catalysts to be looking out for. And in my opinion, rescheduling is the biggest one. And that could likely happen at some point, early next year. And then that would send these stocks flying, right? And it's going to benefit more the MSOs. I did a video on who benefits the most from rescheduling. You can check that out. But essentially, this is going to be good for the whole space because all boats rise together. And I did a live stream yesterday, and there's tons of people in the US that, I was talking about Curaleaf, and they're like, I can't buy it, right? Unless you buy it through an ETF like MSOS, which trades on a US major exchange. But as we know, you can't buy individual names because a lot of stockbrokers don't allow OTC, over the counter. And then you can't, if you're in the US, you can't buy on the Toronto Stock Exchange or the CSE or the CBOE, right? So that's something to be aware of. And this could even spill over to other operators as well. Like one that comes to mind is Canopy Growth, right? They have until about mid-January to regain compliance, but they could get a NASDAQ extension as well, which I think would be the most likely scenario. But we know that they also approved a 15-to-1 share consolidation and reverse split. So if push comes to shove, if they really do need to do it, they could do the reverse split, but in my opinion, they could get an extension as well. So at this point, it's looking more and more likely that that could be the case. Also, MJ Biz reported that Canadian MJ sales rise in August, surpassing 3 billion Canadian in 2023. So Canada's recreational MJ industry continued to experience steady monthly growth this year, with sales in August rising to $464.2 million, or a 4% increase over July. However, annual trend continues to show a significant deceleration in growth. 2021, from January to August, sales rose 59% over the previous year. In 2022, sales in the respective months increased 20.5% from 2021 to 2.9 billion. So far this year, recreational MJ sales have increased approximately 13.7% year over year to roughly 3.34 billion. Ontario underpinned national growth. And then, if we just go down here, so Alberta had 78.6 million. And then Prince Edward Island, where I'm from, only 2.3 million at the lowest, but there's only like 170,000 people there. Quebec's 55.9 million. So kind of what we would expect. But look at Edmonton there. This is my hometown where I live and where I reside now. And you can see here 26.1 But yeah, Toronto, in August, Toronto saw second biggest gain among all Canadian municipalities by dollar volume, rising to about 4 million over July, or 7% to 62.2 million. So again, Edmonton at 26.1, outpacing Vancouver at 22.8, and Calgary only 21.9. So like I said, Edmonton, for, there's only a little over 1 million people here, and for that amount of population, this is definitely one of the best MJ communities out there, and definitely proud to be an Edmontonian. And I just did a video as well, as Edmonton opened Canada's first MJ restaurant in downtown Edmonton. It's called CBD CBN. If you haven't seen that, check that out as well. Super excited about that. But we'll dive into the VFF chart here at the moment. So we are starting monthly consolidation. And how do we know we're consolidating? We're losing the low of the previous candle. So once we lost 77 cents, we started monthly consolidation, and we're still in a monthly downtrend. So now we need this monthly higher low, which we're forming now. And in order to form it, we need to hold the low here at 55 cents. And then we need to break above resistance at 117. So if we hold 55 cents from here on this consolidation and monthly pullback, and then we break 117, we're going to be in a monthly uptrend, which would be the first time since back in November of 2020, right? So this is a long time coming. If we just go back to November of 2020 to now, we're talking about 1,064 days, give or take, right? And when we confirm this monthly uptrend, the more names that do so, the better. If you take a look at, say, a name like Cureleaf, that's a great example of what all other companies in the space want to do. We have the low, high, higher low. It held that 296 low, and then it broke resistance here at 568. Once we broke 568, we confirmed the monthly uptrend. And then you can also go over to the AYR chart, and you can see here that we had the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So we're in a monthly uptrend there as well. So now we need to see VFF do something similar, where we're forming the higher low now. Now we just need the higher high. So again, uptrends are higher lows and higher highs, and then downtrends are lower highs and lower lows. So we're working on the higher low now. So we have the low, the high, the higher low, and now we need the higher high, right? So if we can just get this pattern, and the more names that confirm those monthly uptrends, the more confident we are that the bottom is in, and that we could potentially see a multi-year bull market be beginning after a multi-year bear market ending. And right now, MJ sure could use some news, some well-timed news and the catalyst to knock us out of this rut, because right now the S&P 500 isn't looking good. I've been saying that the S&P 500 could see potential for getting close to weekly oversold, and then the DXY's weekly bull flag going to potential weekly overbought, and that could potentially mark the temporary bottom in stocks. But we could see, if the S&P 500 loses 420, just coincidence that it's sitting at 420 support in this MJ video, but if it loses 420, then we have no support down to 400. So that would spell even more trouble for these LPs and these MSOs, right? So we need to form these monthly higher lows ASAP. Like, for example, VFF only has about 18%. That's still quite a bit of downside to work with, though, to form the higher low from the low of this month. So again, we could still see another 15 to 18% of downside and still just be looking for that monthly higher low. But like I said, we could definitely use some news and a positive catalyst to start to turn this the other way, right? And then on the weekly time frame, VFF isn't looking that hot. We're having a bear cross on the MACD, so again, adding that we could see a little bit more downside from here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we drop below 70 cents on this monthly consolidation, just based on the weekly chart. And we topped out right at the 50 weekly. A lot of their names are starting to trend back to their 100 weeklies. And again, if we use Cureleaf as an example, it got above its 100 weekly. So it's one of the strongest charts out there. But if VFF just does what Cureleaf does over the next couple of months, we could expect about $2.50 there, which would bring us to that 100 weekly. So that would sort of be the similar move if we do get above the 50 weekly and target that 100 weekly. So it's all about 101 and $1 psychological. And then obviously that's going to be a crucial level because of that Nasdaq minimum bid price rule, right? So if we can get a weekly candle close over $1.01 over that 50 weekly moving average, we've got a ton of runway there until about $2.50. And VFF could be a buyout target as well. There's a lot of speculation that Tilray could buy them because they're fruit and vegetables, and they're Tilray's getting into fruits and vegetables, so we could potentially see that, but I doubt it. I don't see it happening anytime soon. It could, but we are seeing a golden cross with the 50-day crossing below the 200 up through the 200 daily moving average. When that happens, it's referred to as a golden cross. You can see here last time that happened was back in July of 2020, and the price didn't really skyrocket until February 2021, so it can take multiple months. Then we had the death cross with the shorter term, the 50-day, in this case above the 200-day. When they cross, that's a death cross. Price went from about $10 all the way down to, like I said, about 55 cents. So now we're seeing the flip side of that, and we're even more beaten down than we were the previous time. So it's looking pretty decent. Like I said, I expected October to be a down month, so we're October, and it's been rocky for sure. And then over the next couple of weeks, in my opinion, we're going to form a temporary bottom in the market, and then we should see a massive end-of-year rally in the broader market, also spilling over into the MJ space. But let me know what you think of this news. Do you think we could see other LPs? One that comes to mind is Canopy getting in an extension. Do you think we're going to regain Nasdaq, the compliance organically? I think with the right catalysts coming up, I think it's a very, very high probability that we're going to see VFF just naturally regain compliance. So going into there, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Smash the like if you think I earned it today. Share the video with anybody that might find value, and we shall see you again on the next video.